2 weeks ago, Nicky Law debuted as the new sheriff of Tampa Bay. He deputized Forrest Lasso to head up his posse. Later, Cal Jennings, his strike was saved, but he radioed for backup. Charlie Dennis with the emphatic putback as the Rowdies arrested the development of Tulsa FC 3-0. Tonight, the Rowdies return home looking to lock up Monterey Bay. We sail into a sweltering soccer night in downtown St. Petersburg. The Tampa Bay Rowdies back in Al Lang for their only home match in the month of August, ready to make it count with some fireworks against Monterey Bay FC. Good evening and welcome to Al Lang Stadium, everybody. Alongside Ryan Davis, I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thank you so very much for joining us for Rowdies and USL Championship Soccer again here on ESPN+. Well, we learned from Schoolhouse Rock that 3 is the magic number, right? So we enter the final third of the USL Championship season tonight. Forrest Lasso, number 3, returning to the lineup following that yellow card suspension, and Nicky Law. It's the third game of his new era.
Well, Coach Law has now won at home, lost on the road, so he's experienced a wave of emotions just over 2 weeks. Now, like you said, in his third game, he's getting into the technical aspect of coaching. He already has to work with a depleted roster, which makes his job that much tougher.
Monterey Bay, on the other hand, the second-year club, comes in on a 4-game bender. In fact, they haven't won a game in the month of July, leading here into August. But perhaps Alex Dixon, a guy who suited up for the Rowdies 3 times back in 2013, maybe he's the answer.
Alex Dixon is versatile. He could play out wide. He could play as a central striker. He's 15th in assists in this league's history, and he has 9 goals already this season. He is the complete forward for this Monterey Bay team, and they're going to rely on him.
Loanee from Inter Miami 2, Abel Caputo, was a late scratch in the midfield. That means Jordan Doherty, who was going to play at right back, now back in the middle. Mr. Versatility, 21 of 22 starts.
Quickly becoming the silent leader of this Rowdies organization, his 3rd year. And that's with a year gone in Ireland, went back to Ireland. Now he's back. His game is better than ever. He can play defense. He can hold the midfield. 21 of 22 starts he's played this season. He's Mr. Dependable for the Rowdies.
Count on that. Rowdies, 3rd place in the East, hoping to gain ground. It's the USL Battle of the Bays. Tampa Bay, Monterey Bay. Starting 11s at kickoff. Coming your way next on ESPN+.
Imagine a company steeped in heritage, innovating into the promise of what the future can bring, like a phoenix helping others find prosperity. Sagicor's brand, the wisdom to help people make solid financial decisions, and the compassion to do good for society and those in need. Life insurance and annuities from Sagicor show your partner, family, and loved ones just how much you care about their financial security. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
What happens when a company puts health solutions at the center of everything it does? At Florida Blue, Tai Chi happens. Nurse visits happen. This happens. A nutrition class happens. Answers to your health insurance questions happen. And a healthier you happens. So come by your local Florida Blue Center and experience health solutions at the center.
There are 16 spots in the playoffs and just 1 track left. Well, not just any track.
We're basically going to have to win.
Daytona. A last chance to keep playoff hopes alive.
We're 1 point to the good.
And for fans to experience an event unlike any other. It's time to go big. Yeah! And watch the drama unfold before your very eyes. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
We are ready for USL Championship soccer here at Al Lang Stadium. The Tampa Bay Rowdies, third place in the East. Monterey Bay slipping below that line in the West. Should be a good one, but a hot one. Jeff Ratcliffe and Ryan Davis. Monterey Bay, coached by Frank Yalla, two-time MLS Coach of the Year. This is what he's got.
I see a Coley up top, Jeff, and I think this Monterey team are going to try to play long to the big number 9. Let him hold up the ball and have Dixon and Boone run around him. But what about Murphy and Baca? They're going to provide support in front of that back four, and Fair becoming that number 10. Robertson Green providing that excellent partnership. Martinez starting at left back tonight.
Nicky Law said his club lacked quality and belief on that infamously inhospitable pitch at Highmark Stadium last week. Makes a change to the lineup that lost 1-0 in Pittsburgh.
Yep, we see Caputo, who is supposed to start tonight. A game-time decision, scratch Jordan Doherty now moves back into that holding midfield position. Jan Ekra as ever there, but JJ Williams gets the nod tonight to start. LaCava and Dennis to support. Guillen, Lasso and Kliman, with Arman and Antley providing that with Connor Sparrow in goal.
So look at the starting 11s. Rowdies in the very familiar green and gold hoops. It will be the union of Monterey Bay FC in the traveling white. You and I were watching the contest in which they played very well against a very game Sacramento team last week. But what I noticed is the temperature there in Seaside, California, a little lower than it is here in sweltering Southwest Florida.
And they caught Sacramento on some high presses, really kind of changing things around for Sacramento. But in this weather, think of it as Azteca Stadium on the hottest day of the year. It's going to be slow and methodical.
Rowdies short on the bench, just 5 players available to Nicky Law. 4 of them are forwards, and of course you got Phil Brino, the backup keeper. That is it. So you're going to start with this midfield and finish with this midfield. And it is game on in St. Pete's. Tampa Bay attacking left to right.
And it's funny you said that, the 4 crossing midfield. The 2 guys in the middle I'm not worried about. Arman, that's going to be really hard. He just came back from injury over a couple of weeks ago. Can he play a full 90 in this type of weather out on the wide left?
And Antley moving up from that right center back spot into the midfield. In short bench because of the injuries, mainly to the midfield of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We all know about Leo Fernandez, and here's a chance. And some last-ditch defending for Monterey Bay FC. Still not out of the woodwork. Antley, who we were just talking about, one-on-one, had it taken away by Walmer Martinez.
Well, we just see
a late foul.
We just see that Connor Antley brings to you so many different things, but 1v1 in the last third may not be his strength.
So Lewis Hilton out, Herrevo out, Dalgard out, all midfielders for Monterey Bay. Dawkins, Enriquez, and Glasser. So neither team playing with a full deck. But for the Rowdies, help maybe around the corner when we talk with Nicky Law this week. In the coming weeks, guys may be coming back.
And not only just guys, those are leaders. Lewis Hilton, Zach Herrevo was brought into, and Deon Harris, who just was X'd out this week because of a heel injury. He's going to be coming back slowly but surely. And then Seb Dalgard, Mr. Dependable as well, just on the outskirts of coming back in.
First corner of the match goes to Monterey Bay. The Crispin Kelp will try to make the most out of every single dead ball situation to somehow get a result on this road trip.
Just looking at Roberts, the big defender with the dreads. He's gotten a goal this season.
James Murphy puts the right boot into it. Lasso is in on the defense. Still work to do to clear. Saw Hugh Roberts coming up to maybe nick a goal. There'll be a throw for Monterey Bay. Another ball served into the area. This is Sean Ugo Akoli. And just played back.
Well, Connor Sparrow, his eyes must have widened as Connor.
You're not supposed to kick it towards me.
Within 2 yards, correct.
2.5 gone. Rowdies coming off a loss at first place Pittsburgh. Tough place to play. Small pitch, old turf. Friendly confines tonight. Here are your keys to the match, Ryan.
Yeah, well, the Rowdies didn't get a chance to use their natural width in Pittsburgh because of such a narrow field and because they went down so early to them. Now, back in Al Lang Stadium, Antley and Armand are going to be the ones driving the ball up the wide side of the field and then bringing it back in to Jan Ekra, who's going to arrive late. And then there's Lacava and company to try and score some goals. Now, when you have the Monterey Bay, there were people in the stands in Monterey wearing Parkers just last week. Well, not in Al Lang Stadium. Weather the heat and slow the pace down, hold possession. Anytime the ball goes out of play, don't rush it. Try to bring this down to a crawl and get out of Al Lang with some points.
You can wear a parka, but it will be incredibly uncomfortable, and the looks you'll get will be nice.
You'll probably lose about 25 pounds.
Yes, maybe that's the goal.
Yes.
Stoppage here. Our referee for this match, the venerable Ted Uncle, super experienced. He's assisted by Brian Marshall, Juan Pablo Casas, and the fourth official is Mario Maric.
Who's Uncle?
Ted's gonna whistle stop again. His wife Christina is here, and she is part of that ownership group of the USL women's team, the Super League team that's going to be starting here. Going to be coached by Denise Schulte-Brown, former USF Bulls head coach. Of course, if you watch national television, she's a rules analyst that you'll always see. So it's like the referee's power couple, Ted and Christina Uncle, in the house tonight.
I'm sure Benefer might have an issue with that.
So far, Monterey Bay has been in an attacking posture for the last couple of minutes, and they'll continue. James Murphy in the center of the park. He and Moby Fear try to control the pace in there. Their hands full. Free kick, Tampa Bay.
Well, sometimes when the Rowdies get free kicks in the middle of the park, they push players up and play it long. They're trying to keep it on the carpet and force the pace, put Monterey all the way back on their heels.
Here's Jake Lacava on this right side, now into the area. Antley had a foot on it, and it will roll left side. Alex Dixon was trying to hold up. Left back Walmer Martinez in for Grant Robinson. This is a team coached by Frank Yallop, who loves to work the edges when they can with some really speedy wing backs. On the other side, you got Maury Donor.
Well, we talked when the starting lineups came on about Ugo Okoli starting with that direct pass from Martinez over the top, bypassing the midfield is the exact reason. Get the ball to the big fella, hopefully to him and not in front of him, and let him start to lay balls off.
Former league MVP with FC Cincinnati in 2016, 16 goals that year. Parlayed that to getting back up to MLS with NYCFC, played for Patrick Vieira. The build up here for the Union. All the way across the face of goal, nothing doing there. Neither team filling out the sub list tonight. It's that time of the season, right? I mentioned in the open we're a third of the way left.
And some people grind, some people sort of wince at it, but I think it's incredible. This is why we talk about the regular season being the most important and why teams are the best when they do win the regular season. Because you have to get through so many different factors to get to the finish line at number one. Injuries, weather, travel. The best team comes out at number one in the league.
Cross-country trip for Monterey Bay. Every team in the East plays every team in the West. Home and home over 2 years. Last year, these two teams met for the first time in Seaside, and it was a 2-1 victory for Tampa Bay. Guess who had one of the goals in that game? Nicky Law, now the head man, right? So has had some moments, but now he's going to have to stay in that technical area.
Does he really, though? I mean, Nikilo is a center midfielder. If anybody goes down, you put on a pair of cleats and a Rowdies shirt.
Yeah, he was a player coach before he took the job here.
That's right.
Over at Huntsville City.
Does he turn to himself and say, put me in, coach?
Yeah. I'm sure he has eligibility if that were a thing in USL. Here's Dixon on that left wing. Comes back to Fear. A bit of a shoulder chuck until Uncle lets it go. Tampa Bay will build from the back. 9 minutes gone, no score here in St. Petersburg.
We talked about Armand and Antley. Here it is. Antley pushing the ball up the sides, giving the Rowdies width and allowing them to advance up the pitch. Now they're going to go all the way across to Armand, keep switching from side to side, have this Monterey team shift the entire 90 minutes.
92 degrees at kickoff here. That was some service over the top of the bar. Gets away.
Now Jeff is being kind. 7 o'clock, 92 degrees. You sprinkling some humidity. We're back up at triple figures at 7 p.m. Gives you an idea of what it's like in Central Florida.
Let's look at Frank Yallop, the 59-year-old in his second season. Soccer fans who have been here in Tampa Bay for a bit remember him as an all-star defender for the Tampa Bay Mutiny. Two-time MLS Coach of the Year with San Jose. Also won a couple of MLS Cups there.
I had a Tampa Bay Mutiny shirt. Carlos Valderrama, loved him.
Right, he was a teammate of Valderrama.
Yep.
He has seen a lot of soccer. Watford, England born, Canadian international. He moved to Canada as a young lad. 52 caps for the Maple Leafs. Oof. Ooh, big collision in the center of the park. Dennis is down. Okay, we got a little simmered down now.
Well, I think that's just going to be one of those warnings where
in the back,
Roberts is going to be held accountable for the next challenge. Just right through La Cava, like he was in there.
Roberts, the captain, he and Kai Green, a very formidable physical duo on that back line.
And I love that for Monterey. They have some confidence, they have some consistency.
Experience.
And consistency. Kai Green has started every match for Monterey this season. So the centre-back pairing is well intact.
Dennis sitting on 7 goals. Will deliver this. Saw Forrest Lasso here 2 weeks ago get the header to light things up in that second half against Tulsa. Loop towards Lasso, back post, and dealt with. It will be a corner kick here for Tampa Bay.
Now, the last time the Rowdies were at home, it was Charlie Dennis heading over to this very corner flag. And there goes Jake LeCavre as well. And Forrest Lasso opened the scoring with a thundering header. You know, when Lewis Hilton went out, everyone was worried about that piece delivered.
Wow. Long pass was thwarted from Armin, and a handball will bring it back. And the restart. Flying out, getting a touch and hitting the ground hard was the keeper, Carlos Herrera. And now Monterey Bay, very good transition team, by the way.
Well, I love the fact what Carlos Herrera has done, taking that spot from Siaha over the last couple of weeks. His foot mob rating, which is very credible, is well over 7. Great shot stopper, excellent with the ball at his feet. And here it is again. Too close to the keeper. What he does, takes control, gets a piece of it, just enough to throw off Lasso. And gets his centre-backs and defenders out of jail for free.
Our replays brought to you by Bayfront Health St. Petersburg. Antley.
You know, talking about Monterey Bay, Jeff, the last 4 games they've lost, but the last 4 games, 1 goal scored, 7 conceded. But when I look a little bit deeper, it's just they're last in the USL in shots, which means they're not creating enough chances to get shots off.
This one escorted into the corner. And Boone chased it down all the way from his attacking midfield spot. Ekra keeps it alive. There's Doherty doing his thing. Get the pass back. Reverses field. Chips it into Lacava. Will try to settle it. Cut it back to his left foot. Lacava! Right in the hands of Herrera.
Just in case you're wondering where that incredible pass came from, it was Jordan Doherty. As delicate as you like, right onto the shoelaces of Lacava. Gets back on his weaker foot. And Herrera made that look far too easy. Great save by the keeper in the end. Lacava being adventurous and Doherty pulling the strings.
We're having to come back.
Just to let everyone know, Jordan Doherty was going to start at the centre-back position before Caputo got injured. Late change, he's back in his familiar defensive midfield role. And boy, he just goes from strength to strength every game in that position.
There's the Irishman there. Making his 22nd start of the season. Had a big assist to J.J. Williams against Tulsa. Patience shown by the Rowdies. 11-6-5 coming in. Third place in the East behind Pittsburgh and Charleston, but they've got 2 games in hand on both of those. You win those, and you have to win those.
Correct.
You're on level terms.
Yes. And if you are Nicky Law and you're back at home and you see a struggling Monterey team coming in, you have to have these guys ready to go and get all 3 points tonight. Now, Monterey is going to have different ideas, of course. Head coach and coaching staff, this is a must-win for this Rowdies team. No draws, no losses.
Well, we'll take this time to remind you to relax boldly in Tampa Bay. Claim your next adventure at visitTampaBay.com. Nicky Law no longer a visitor. Now here in his 3rd match in charge. Plymouth, England native. 12 appearances and that goal against Monterey Bay last year.
Just looking at the formation of this Monterey team, 4-2-3-1 with Murphy and Baca. Here's Murphy on the ball right now, just patrolling in front of the centre-backs, allowing Mayer to push up. There he is, and pull these strings with a little bit of flexibility.
There's Fear and Baca. Now it's Chase Boone. Has a ton of quality. Akoli will get a shot to the back stick. Didn't miss by much. You're gonna have to man mark him tight. Boy, one of the more direct players you'll ever see in this league.
Yep, doesn't need a touch. Technique just wasn't there. He was not as close to the ball as you would want. So you ended up hooking it wide. Just sort of snatched at it.
Had the defender on his back, though.
Yes.
Still got the shot away. If you're Frank Yallop, you're happy with the amount of possession your team has had thus far. Right now, just 40%, but a lot of the Rowdies' possession has been in their own half. Roby Fear will have to get up off the grass. Fear from Manhattan, New York, 28 years old. Played in Japan and Vietnam before going to Las Vegas in 2019 to play for Eric Winalda.
What an amazing thing is this global game. He finds himself in Vietnam. Just amazing. Can play anywhere.
His father is Swiss, his mother Japanese descent. He moved to Japan in 2000, so that's where he spent his formative soccer years.
Yeah.
Decided to come back stateside.
Good for him.
One of the more versatile center midfielders you'll find in the league. Always on the ball.
Just see how compact this Monterey team is.
Yeah, you don't want to use the width.
No, because if you get caught out, it's just going to be a foot race, which you don't want. So if the ball is given away,
like that,
everyone is compact and in shape.
Dennis. Little skip to the step for Dennis. Ekra's on the ball right outside the D. He'll give it a go, and it's into Ralph's mob, the Skyway Casuals. Keep your head on a swivel.
Well, Jan Ekra, we talk about snatching on his weaker left foot. Just try to get his laces through it, but his body was too far from the ball.
Herrera, the Mexican goalkeeper, let this fly towards the technical area of the Rowdies. Be a throw-in. Guillen. Over 90 degrees at the start of this match. It's like hits you in the face. And even Nicky Law talked about it. And it's not just difficult for the visiting teams, it's difficult for the Rowdies to train in it every day. Now we'll have to give chase. This is Chase Boone. Works it inside, and it falls just outside the 6 and cleared.
Well, the ever-overlapping donor. Another ball coming in. He has 2 assists already this season. Just an excellent attacking option for Boone to work with on that right-hand side. But what about the touch by a Coley to get the break started? That's what the big man is there for.
There's Dennis. Direct to La Cava. Down towards the corner flag. Tracked by Martinez. Antley going for goal. Still waiting for his first goal of this season.
Connor Antley so far hasn't been getting the job done in the last third. But he is quite the footballer. Can defend, play both sides of the ball, as they would say, attacking, defensive. If Tampa Bay are ever looking for a Sunrail train, that's the man you want to talk to.
Sunrail train.
He is up and down that wing like nobody's business. Doesn't run on gas, by the way.
What's it run on?
Love.
Antley right into a mixer of white jerseys. Be interesting to see just the posture of these Monterey Bay players as the heat gets zapped, saps the energy over the course of this game. The remedy to that is score a goal against the run of play. And they're certainly capable. They started the season quite well, but their last win came against Miami FC June 25th. It's been a minute.
And that starts to get into the players' heads, Jeff. Not just on the field.
Antley one-on-one with Martinez. Antley the right foot will cut it back to his left. He'll give it a go again. Squirts it by the back post.
Well, a lot of long stays by Charlie Dennis and Jake LaCava, but Connor Antley did the right thing here. He cut back in, did the unpredictable thing, and then went across the body, across the goal of Herrera.
5-hold Hugh Roberts on that too.
Yeah. So any touch by Herrera would have fell into the path of J.J. Williams. So great run by Connor Antley. He's getting into the game now.
Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.selectsportamerica.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Long ball, and typically we'll handle that. We'll hand play. Third minute, couple of half chances either way. And Aaron Guillen does not like the decision by Ted Uncle to give them the ball.
Well, Monterey like nothing better. You have a Coley. Well, Roberts is staying back, but you have the big man.
Yeah, Coley has yet to score this year. Comes back to Baca. Baca making just his second start, coming over from Cruz Azul in Liga MX. Played for Frank Yallop in San Jose 2011 to 2013.
And then 10 years with Cruz Azul. Now that's longevity.
Yallop's got 3 former players of his in MLS on this roster. 2 from San Jose, 1 from Chicago. Go with what you know, right?
Absolutely.
Known quantities, experienced players.
And those experienced players can then influence the newcomers, the younger ones, and get them into the system that much quicker.
Monterey Bay coming into this match 10th in the Western Conference. For most of the season, they've been above that line. On this bit of poor form.
You know what? I'm going to begin.
Dropped below.
I'm going to begin a new saying this year. So when you start talking about making your way in a career in England, they would always ask the question, well, can you do it on a cold night in Stoke City?
Yes.
So I think the question has to be asked, can you do it in a warm night in our land? That's it. Can you make it? Do you have the chops?
We'll find out at some point. Yeah, cold night at Stoke. Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of the European clubs come to the United States in the summertime to train, because they cannot replicate those conditions. It is great to see when you go out to those practices that are open to the public or what have you. Man, they are sweating.
You try and get
but they all try to get tans too.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. I mean,
want to go back to England with some color.
Half the time they play in those exhibitions with sand in the ears.
Yeah. Into Dennis. Baca trying to close. Getting it out to Armin. Negative ball back right at the halfway line is Guillen. Switch it with Lasso. Atley. Oh, boy, out of the battle here with Martinez. And Doherty. Sends it across. Boy, looking for JJ. Trying to connect again like they did 2 weeks ago. The putback off target. Off the foot of Charlie Dennis.
Well, good piece of hesitation by Doherty. He didn't panic. He waited a second and took the ball to the byline and just floated it for the big man. And Donor did a great job getting in the way of JJ Williams, who would have gotten his second goal in consecutive Al-Lang matches if he nodded that one in.
Donor 5'8", JJ 6'4", so that's a job.
There's an old reggae song that says 96 degrees in the shade. And
yes.
I think that sums it up tonight, this week in Florida.
This summer in Florida.
It is.
Some discussion here. Whose ball? Be a throw for Monterey Bay. But the longer this stays 0-0, you'll take that. You'll come out of here with a point, right?
Absolutely. Monterey Bay, if they can stop the bleeding, 4 losses in a row coming into Al-Lang. Oh, yeah.
And talking with Nicky Law this week, one of the points he wanted to make was we need a good start. We didn't start well in my debut in that game against Tulsa. All 3 goals came in the second half, took a little while to warm up, and then just never really got going in Pittsburgh after they scored that goal from Albert Dikwa early in the match. I'd like to nick one here before halftime. Here's Murphy, really good dead ball specialist out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. To the back stick. Second bite of the apple just outside the 18 from Dixon. Now Boone gets a shot in. Just what the doctor ordered for Monterey Bay FC. Moby Fear has his first goal of the season. And the Rowdies are chasing a 1-0 game here at home.
Well, you could see what it means to this Monterey team. Little ball in, little hesitation, and a beautiful crossing from Chase Boone, and Fair took it on the volley. Look at the technique. No chance for Connor Sparrow. And look at his face, turns to his teammates to get them encouraged and to get something going in the second half of the season. And now we have a hydration break right after that Fair goal, just so the Rowdies can think about it.
Right, so for the second straight game, the Rowdies have conceded first, and this time at home. And you can see Connor Sparrow. Less than thrilled with what happened there. You hate when your keeper in the slow roller gets by you, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he connected it so beautifully. And Chase Boone, the fact that he had the space to get the cross in, that's what you want. You want to stop the service, Jeff. There's too much pressure when the ball comes in to then stop that. So the fact that Boone got the room to get it in was the first problem. And this man, Fair, has now put his team on his shoulders. They've held their own in the opening 28 minutes, and to get that first goal, incredible.
His second goal in his 2 years now with Monterey Bay FC. Not usually the guy that's going to be providing that. He's the guy with the service typically from the midfield.
Yeah,
how about this?
Gets just a bit of delight.
Got a deflection too.
Yeah.
A little bit of deflection.
Yep.
Hits lasso and goes in.
That's why stopping the service is so important, because things like that happen.
Correct. Okay, half hour gone. Hydration break completed. How will the Rowdies react? Again, really thin bench, and you can see the sweat just dripping off every single player on that field. It's basically surviving the night.
Yeah.
Now will we see Monterey Bay kind of back off and see if you can just ride it out?
I mean, you play this game in segments, right? So they're looking in the next 15 minutes.
Just win the 15.
Win the 15. Be solid, and then when you come back out, you play another 20 minutes to the hydration break in the second half. You play it in segments. You're not thinking all the way to the 90th minute.
Another quarter hour to go here in this first half. You have a feeling if the Rowdies can, it will open it up, right? It's like there's a lid. You got to, right? Just a cellophane covering the front of the goal. You need to break through it. Doherty on the ball here. Expect the in-swinger. Whistles it high, and tracking it and taking it is Herrera. And now off to the races. So be headed all the way back to Sparrow, who's conceded just his 15th goal of the season. Will not get his 8th shutout tonight. Currently ranks 4th in the league in that department with 7. Baca. Stop and start.
No, you see, Jeff, a little bit of confidence creeping in. I want the ball. I want to defend. I want to make the next play.
Yes.
Starting to creep into that Monterey Bay psyche.
Every coach I've ever met.
Yep.
Goals change games.
It does.
Oh, how about that ball? Going to run a little far, trying to catch up to it. Able to do so. This is making the Rowdies run defensively. In the area again, Dixon running on. Deflected by the Rowdies defense. Comes off of Kleeman.
Again, Chase Boone creating the goal. Now trying to create space for Alex Dixon for the shot on top of the box. He's been the difference the last 5 minutes, and Dixon ran into the Great Wall of Ekra a little while ago.
No lack of energy there.
Oh yeah. Is the
little heat's not going to brush off Ralph's mom.
The Tampa Bay Ultras.
Copa Tejas takes center stage as playoff positioning heats up. Golden Boot leader Tane Olusawe. And San Antonio FC welcome Wilmer Cabrera and RGV FC with major playoff implications at San Antonio FC and RGV FC Wednesday, August 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
Well, exactly what Monterey wanted, and Coach Law and the Rowdies did not want. A compact, stubborn Monterey Bay over the first 20 minutes gets a goal from the attacking midfielder Fair, and now the Rowdies have to figure out a way and break this team down in the heat to equalize.
Ekra. Yeah, the pace is starting to slow here. Look at those fluids at halftime coming up. And it's just going to get harder and harder to break down Monterey Bay, who will certainly get stuck in now.
Well, we talked about these sides at the beginning of the game, Armand and Antley. Here's Antley now.
From LaCava. Antley back to his left foot again. LaCava on his right foot. Chase to the corner. Good defending here by Monterey Bay FC, forcing him to cycle it back to Kleeman.
Look at the rotation, Jeff. Everyone.
And now Akoli makes the run.
Staying with their man, covering the space. No channels. Ooh.
Play on after the hard chuck there. Trying to turn is Dennis.
Well, we saw Aaron Guillen
It'll be a throw-in.
Getting clipped as the ball passed, and it looks like Ted Uncle is going to have some words with Boone. Now this is where the Rowdies have to play with some pace.
Oh, LaCava just had it taken away off the foot by Martinez. And now, again, just the direct ball coming off his line is Sparrow. Had to play it with his feet.
Soft touch to Aaron Guillen. And yeah, if the Rowdies are going to play a high line and try to press Monterey back, those counter-attack passes are on, and Connor Sparrow has to be alive to it.
Throw in Tampa Bay. Antley. Assistant says it was off Antley.
Now, Jeff, I have a little issue here. It came off Martinez and it hit Conan Antley's foot, whose foot was behind the line already. So the ball did go over the line when it hit Conan Antley's foot. So I'm thinking, tough call for the Rowdies.
Be better eyesight than I've got. Dixon, you mentioned in the open, played for the Rowdies back in 2013. 3 games on loan from Houston Dynamo. That year he was 26. He's 36 and leads this team in goals scored with 9. He's tied for 7th in the league. Just keeps on going. Oh, nearly a fortunate bounce for Tampa Bay. Williams was lurking to pounce.
Well, Dennis putting that ball in the corridor of uncertainty, and Roberts, this look of relief on his face when the ball bubbled to Herrera, tells his story.
Throw in Tampa Bay. Rowdies trailing a goal to nil. First goal of the season for Moby Fear, the midfielder. Calmly put it on target. Happened in the 28th minute. Ekra. Kleeman come into the attacking half. Doherty just slipping it behind. Antley able to stop it. No. In behind for a goal kick. Oh.
Well, Doherty asking the question again.
Just touch heavy.
The perfect pass, maybe not the pace. And if Connor Antley can't get to it, nobody can. And does his best to keep it in, but the momentum of the ball was just too much. And it creeps over. Oh, looks like that's latter sphere, maybe still over the line, but still.
He had to go to ground anyway.
Yep, linesman had the best view in the stadium.
To Antley. Coverage by Monterey Bay defensively. Dennis. And Armin trying to hook up.
Oh, what a ball.
Long switch. Antley gives it a go. Two defenders there to thwart that. He's trying to find the ball like a catcher. And it will be a foul against Monterey Bay and a free kick for Bay. Or is it going to be overruled?
Martinez and Antley have been going at it. And as Antley was talking to Martinez, it looks like Ted Uncle wants to have a word with Connor Antley.
Let's see again.
Yep, there's the shoulder to shoulder. And there's the grab. There's
a little bit of a grab, yep.
And he grabs Martinez as well. And Connor Antley. And they say some nice words to each other.
Question is, if you're Monterey Bay, you're leading 1-0, do you want to poke the bear? They want to compete.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. I think, and they've been doing a great job with both of them. It's been a great competition on this left Monterey side, right Rowdy side. So we see these sort of form Herrera's in the goalkeeper. Charlie Dennis, a left footer in swinger. You want to ask the question of the goalkeeper. You want to bring it close enough to have the keeper commit. And if anyone gets a touch on the ball, then you have an empty net.
Lasso, Kleeman, Williams, all tall targets here for Dennis. Charlie lets it fly.
Oh,
right at the keeper, Herrera. They denied entry for Lasso. And how about the defending from Donor?
Oh, he's been terrific on that far side. When the ball comes on this right-hand side, he's been picking up like Carver, even J.J. Williams, putting a body on them, having a real physical presence.
If you're Frank Yallop, you love that, the willingness to defend.
Yeah, and Donor known for his overlapping qualities, just doing a great job defensively.
Now coming up on our Visit Tampa Bay halftime show, we will lay down the law with Dickie Law. Take a spin around the league, highlights and stats from that first half. Three minutes plus stoppage away from that. To the line, sent across, trying to find Williams, still work to do.
Martinez did everything right. He showed Connor Antley the line, but Antley still has that yard of pace to get to the byline and put it into the danger area. Herrera comes out, gets a little touch to throw.
Got away.
And Yannick is going to have to understand, with Armand and Antley in this weather, you're going to have to put the ball a little closer to their laces.
getting a bit restless here. The heavy air here in St. Petersburg. Dennis. Tardy. He goes! And a dive to the left by Herrera, and that will put it out for a corner.
Well, the scouting report will tell you do not back up on Jake Arman, and they did exactly that. And the left midfielder, who's been pretty quiet in this half, has the green light and lets it fly. Great save again by Herrera, who's in ripping form.
Set piece here from Doherty. Well, that unlocked this game. Arman. Another service into the area. Contact with Herrera after he had the ball in his hands. He is down. And now some more pushing and shoving here. Herrera still prone. And Guillen up off the mat. Cooler heads prevail. More of a concern now for the keeper.
Well, Aaron Guillen, bit of a master of the dark arts himself, comes in late on Herrera. And the first yellow card is going to be given out here.
Wow.
Looks like it's going to be Murphy, the holding midfielder. And Jeff, got to tell you, most of his game is going to be spent tackling. You don't want to get a yellow card, argue with the referee as a holding midfielder. Is that ball in very, very close to Herrera. Guillen comes in and just takes out Herrera. Have to believe Aaron Guillen should have been booked for that challenge. And I can understand Monterey's frustration. Knew exactly what he was doing and gave Herrera the works as he tried to collect.
Herrera no worse for wear. We're in stoppage time. Not see the fourth official put up the sign, so don't know how much.
Okay.
Here it comes, here it comes. 3 minutes. A minute into the 3 minutes, we see that it's 3 minutes. Well, we're still waiting. Nico Castillo rating that in. So 1 minute of the minimum 3 is gone. So the Rowdies can get a late equalizer here to have some momentum going into that locker room. Again behind to Williams. Just a little too far out in front.
Again, you're starting to see Jake Arman starting to impose himself, his technique with the shot, the crosses, the passes on point. May not have the pace like he used to, but that ball is right into the path, just a half a yard ahead of JJ Williams. And he's really starting to work his way into this game.
Minute to go. The rest of the league looks at this score line. This may turn some heads. Now breaking out. Antley cuts it back, leaving it at the top of the box. Settling. Dennis. Not enough on it. It wouldn't sit down for him.
Love the variety by Connor Antley. Instead of getting to the byline, he hooks the ball back now to the top of the box to Charlie Dennis, who's had over a handful of goals this season, but he gets it lost under his feet, and back up just throws his body, desperate defending, and that's been the mood of Monterey, trying to claw their way back into this league, back into the Western Conference, into the playoff race.
Handful of chances for the Rowdies. They lead shots 5-3, just the one on target for each team. We played the 3. They can be proactive. Maybe we can get something out of this for that halftime interval. Antley sends it in, no problem for Roberts. Heads it out of trouble. Still work to do for Monterey Bay. Doherty sends it out of play. It will be a corner. And Ted Uncle will allow it. 3.5 past 45 now.
Well, usually Charlie Dennis comes across to take these corner kicks, but it's so hot that Dennis just about waved to Doherty, and Doherty's going to take it. Now, Ted Uncle again trying to get these players in line, off of the ball. Kleeman. Kai Green and Kleeman. Yep, looks like Kai Green is going to be spoken to with the hands out. It's not going to be allowed.
Outswing you were expected. Now he's stacked at the D, top of the 18. Here they go. Tight to the bar, coming out, and collision. It is a penalty.
Well,
the Rowdies will get a chance to equalize from the spot.
Kai Green was warned with Kleeman just before, and as Kleeman took off, his hand was hooked. Kleeman went to the ground as soon as the contact came. Uncle was all over it and immediately pointed to the spot. There's Kleeman going on late, and that was the call.
You know, Rowdies players were going down like bowling pins.
Coley in the mix as well. He was very close to the action. I believe Aaron Guillen was the one tangled with Coley, and as the bodies went down, Ted Uncle immediately pointed to the spot.
Big moment in this match. Before the stroke of halftime, a chance to level the terms for Tampa Bay. It's going to be Charlie Dennis all the way. Forrest Lasso, yeah, trying to rile him up.
Yep. So Charlie Dennis, a penalty at the supporters' end.
Dennis to approach. Lets it fly, he scores! Dennis's 8th goal of the season. It comes from the spot, more importantly. It is 1-1.
Well, so many people talk about the Paneka. Well, Paneka just puts his laces right through it. No chance for Herrera. He went the right way, but too much pace, too much Charlie Dennis. And the penalty call that came off of the corner kick. And the man who's been so good on set pieces for the Rowdies gets them back in the game.
Well, it'll be a better halftime locker room now. After this kickoff, we'll go straight with the whistle. Now, 7 minutes gone in stoppage time, when 3 was the initial. And Ted Uncle signals a halftime interval, but right before and it's a different ball game as we go to halftime. 1-1 Tampa Bay and Monterey Bay FC. Visit Tampa Bay halftime show coming your way next.
Can health insurance help cure loneliness? Can it take care of your best friend too? Or hold your hand for 9 months? Can it be there for you at 3 a.m.? Or inspire you to go the extra mile? We think so, which is why every day we ask ourselves, what else can health insurance do? Come find out.
Imagine a company steeped in heritage, innovating into the promise of what the future can bring, like a phoenix helping others find prosperity. Sagicor's brand, the wisdom to help people make solid financial decisions and the compassion to do good for society and those in need. Life insurance and annuities from Sagicor show your partner, family, and loved ones just how much you care about their financial security. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
We welcome you to halftime presented by our partners at Visit Tampa Bay. Well, we've got fireworks after tonight's contest. It was an explosion of offense for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in that game 2 weeks ago against Tulsa. And it was the first game of the Nikki Law era. Let's now take a look and a listen to the sights and sounds of that first game for Nikki Law.
I think that I was the most nervous during the day, like with so much time to kind of overthink things probably. I think once I got to the stadium today and the boys started rolling in and I don't know, they just filled me with confidence, you know, the way they were. They looked ready and it was weird. I didn't really feel nervous from that point on, you know.
Week for this Rowdies franchise. They named Nikki Law as their new head coach. He starts with a major challenge tonight. FC Tulsa has won 5 consecutive matches. Dennis bending it in. Lasso delivers the header to give the Rowdies the lead. Dennis for Jennings in position. Save made by Nelson, but followed up. What a left-foot effort by Dennis. And there's the second Rowdies goal. Doherty. Great cross, and it's headed in. J.J. Williams.
A night to remember, hopefully the first of many for Nikki Law here in Tampa Bay. Our Visit Tampa Bay halftime show continues right after these words.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Sue here gives it a go, and Sue here from distance! How about this start for San Antonio FC? 5 minutes in, they're up 2 goals.
RGV, Davila trying to sneak one in and does! Oh my goodness, RGV, a fantastic goal.
Let's get behind the wheel, take a little spin around USL. Some storylines for you. North Carolina FC forward Olex Anderson and Greenville Triumph SC head coach and U.S. men's national team legend John Harkes named League One player and coach of the month for July, respectively. How about North Carolina FC, ready to come back into the USL Championship in 2024? Top 5 power rankings, just one from the Eastern Conference this week. What? Pittsburgh in second, following Orange County at San Antonio, Sac Republic, and Oakland Roots rounding out the top 5. Take a look at the team of the week. Tabor Taka Preston, a couple of goals for Las Vegas in a big win against RGV. That gets him Player of the Week honors. He's joined by 3 members of Miami FC on that team of the week. Cameron Lancaster of Louisville FC up there as well. Take a look at the current standings in the Eastern Conference. You see Tampa Bay 6 points behind Pittsburgh tonight, but they do have 2 games in hand on Charleston as well. Miami FC still below that line. And how do the scores reflect that standing tonight? Right now, no score in Pittsburgh. Hartford Athletic can do the Rowdies a bit of a favor. Indy 11 leading Miami FC. Birmingham Legion, Sac Republic 0-0 at the half. Same with Detroit City and Charleston Battery. If those score lines can hold and the Rowdies can come back, a good night for Tampa Bay in the standings. Our Visit Tampa Bay halftime show continues with highlights right after this.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. Find new experiences, find new roads. Get 2.99% financing for 5 years on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups, or current competitive owners get $3,000 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. See your local Chevy dealer.
What happens when a company puts health solutions at the center of everything it does? At Florida Blue, Tai Chi happens. Nurse visits happen. This happens. A nutrition class happens. Answers to your health insurance questions happen. And a healthier you happens. So come by your local Florida Blue Center and experience health solutions at the center.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle, or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
Back to the Visit Tampa Bay halftime show. So glad to have you along. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Ryan Davis. 1-1 our score here at Al Lang. This may be turning heads, this result. The Rowdies able to get a goal on the penalty just before the stroke of halftime, but you got to give a lot of props to what Monterey Bay is doing thus far.
They were disciplined, they were compact, they were desperate. And that's all the ingredients that this Monterey team needs to get back into the USL Championship and be a contender for the playoffs in the Western Hemisphere, and they're doing a heck of a job.
Sweltering night, and each team's had some chances.
Well, here's Jake LaCava from a beautiful ball from Jordan Doherty, who's pulling the strings all night in midfield. And LaCava trying to go across the body of Herrera. Easy save in the end for the keeper, who's on form. Connor Antley and Martinez have been going at it hammer and nail. This one goes across Herrera's goal again. And Antley, who's been a thorn in his sides. But here comes Boone. A little bit of trickery, gets across. And there's Fair. A fantastic half volley. Gets a bit of the deflection from Forrest Lasso. But good things happen when you get shots inside of the box. And Fair gets his team on his back and gets them in the discussion. Connor Sparrow not happy, but penalty kick. Kleeman goes down, Aaron Guillen goes down, Ted Uncle points to the spot. And that was just before the half. Charlie Dennis, Panenka this in the corner for Herrera, 1-1. And the Rowdies back in the game on the final kick of the first half.
Take a look at the numbers, the match stats, goals even at 1 possession. Really not telling the story here, Ryan.
8 shots to 4 for the Rowdies, even though they got some shots off. The possession by Monterey have been pretty penetrative, even though 64% to the Rowdies. Still, Monterey, good showing for their 36%. Corners 3-1, but what about the all-important penalty call? That got the Rowdies back in the game.
Well, the temperatures now below 90, so that is good. And the upcoming schedule, some more heat for these teams. But the Rowdies won't have that advantage. They got just the one home game coming up this month. Well, they only have the one here tonight in this month. A couple coming up in September versus Hartford Athletic in Louisville City. But off on the road for the next, at FC Tulsa, at Miami FC. They got that big one with Louisville coming up on the 9th of September. So temperature, expecting maybe a heat up here for the Rowdies offense. Expected goals 1.08 to 0.35 in favor of the Rowdies. But you got to put them in the back of that net to make that stat count. This is a great point. You're the Rowdies. This is your only home match of the month of August. You want to send these supporters out happy.
And not only that, I mean, yes, it's a desperate Monterey team, but a Monterey team that have struggled throughout their system, throughout their formation. They've had a hard time converting chances, getting shots off. So if you're the Rowdies, you do want to push up, take some chances against this Monterey attack and try and get some goals of your own at home.
After Frank Yallop, you're still 1-1. You'll take the result. Hopefully they've gotten enough hydration in that locker room, each team. Great Ted Uncle to restart. Rowdies will attack the left goal here in the second half, going right to left. Monterey Bay, the visitors in white, come towards Ralph's Mob, Skyway Casual end of Al Lang Field.
Already it is Antley and Martinez going back at it. What a contest. No call by the referee.
Being handsy is what got him in trouble just before the half. Arman, service, far stick. It was headed in the air by Hugh Roberts. Little scissor kick towards that touchline. And Kleeman will give chase with Sean Coley right on his back heel. Again, more hand play. Kleeman getting the short end of that decision.
Well, that's two big 6-footers, not just 6 feet, but 6 feet plus, tangling Akoli and Kleeman. And Kleeman in the end, a judge for fouling Akoli, but that's what the big target man can do, hold up the ball for Dixon and company and have his midfield come into play in these very hot, dreary weather in our land. And also to get this out of form midfield into the play, the big Akoli.
If you're Tampa Bay, you want to minimize set piece opportunities here, so you stop with the fouls if you can. Murphy, delivery to the back post. Kai Green got the first head to it. They'll try to cycle it around. Another ball serviced into the area. Lasso owned that one, headed out of trouble. Dennis on the run, passing halfway, has numbers chasing, leaves it forward. LaCava, it's going to be a race. Off his line, Herrera to put out the fire.
Well, at first I thought Charlie Dennis's pass was too far, but it brought the keeper into the play, exactly what you would want. And a little dink over the top is all that was needed. Easier said than done.
Yes.
With Charlie Dennis's pass.
That's a high degree of difficulty.
Yes. Great job by Herrera closing on the angle. And there was LaCava. You want to think he did try it.
Yep.
But Herrera's very quick off of his line.
Recognized the danger. Good little counterattack there for Tampa Bay. Not really in their DNA. Here's Williams coming out strong, looking for that post. Puts it just wide. And a sprightly start here for the Rowdies in the second half.
Well, a quiet first 45 minutes by J.J. Williams, and this is the sort of attitude you want your number 9 to have. Anything around that 18-yard box, let it fly. Have some confidence, be brave, and he did that. His weaker left foot, and he tried to drag it back to that first post.
I think Herrera had it covered because it was on the ground. Often difficult here as a road team coming out in the second half. You go, it's hot outside, you go into the locker room, it's air conditioned, you get used to it, and then you come back out and you get a second chance for it to hit you. Well, he's trying to pounce here in the opening minutes. 2 quality chances. You mentioned it. A win's a must against the team below the line in the West.
Yeah, because you have such a long road run to make in the upcoming weeks that you really want to get 3 points here against a team that's struggling, but also a team that it has its back against the wall, and they're a bit desperate themselves.
The quality of competition's not killer the next 3 games at Tulsa, at Miami, but they're still road matches.
Yes.
And they get Hartford back here. Then it gets tough. Got Memphis 901, Louisville City. Team that knocked the Rowdies out of the Eastern semifinals and went to the finals themselves, where they lost to San Antonio last year.
Rowdies got out of jail there. Monterey were pressing, and Armand laid it back for Guillen, who hit it to the third ball, as they say, to J.J. Williams, wins the free kick, but shows this Monterey team willing to press high. They did that against Sacramento a week ago with some success, just didn't convert their chances. So despite some of the results they've incurred, they still have kept themselves in the match, most of the matches they've played. And so far, a great showing for this Monterey team.
Guillen. Armin will combine back to Lasso. All the channels were cut off. Try that direct ball. No problem for Martinez. Trying to split the defense. Doherty lays it back, running on late. LaCava makes it 2-1. Rowdy's first lead of the night. 3rd goal of the season for Jake.
It's that man again, Jordan Doherty, the player to watch at the beginning of the game. He showed up again, down to the right-hand side, and squares it back into the corridor of uncertainty. And guess who's there? Jake LaCava to mop up behind J.J. Williams. That means the left-sided LaCava tucks into the center by the penalty spot. And what a bit of heads-up play by Jordan Doherty, Mr. Dependable.
Not going to miss that. But it was the hustle to get there is the impressive part of that young man. Look at the smile. We've been waiting to see that as he gets back to it. Coming back on loan from Inter Miami CF2. We talked a little bit with Nicky about that this week. It's a guy we're just waiting to have him explode back to the form he had here last year. It's full of steam now.
That is one player the Rowdies would love to get back in the confidence bank, is Jake LaCava. Mentally just didn't seem to be in it, coming back from Miami. Bit of disappointment for him, understandably.
Dennis with a dummy, but nobody home.
And now if he can get going and get his confidence going, get mentally going, LaCava can turn the shift, turn the balance of the tide in the East. That's how good he is.
Was with it, escorted all the way back to Sparrow. Yeah, Nicky Law, you know, thought the effort was there last week in Pittsburgh, but the quality and belief was lacking. A couple of goals will change that for you. But they conceded, what, 7 minutes in to Albert Dikwa, and then that's what Pittsburgh does.
Yeah.
Bob Lilly's just going to pack it in with the 5 in the bag.
And in a narrow field as well, so there's just nowhere to go.
You're locked in. Things opening it up now for Tampa Bay. Antley cuts to his right foot. That one right in the gut of Herrera, though. But this is good proactive soccer from the Rowdies coming into the second half. Is perhaps Monterey Bay going to start tiring and withering?
You know, talking about withering, just going back to the keys to the match, Jeff. Weather the heat and slow the pace. They did everything right for the first 45. Staying compact, slowing it down. And then what about the Rowdies? Continuously going to Antley in the first half. Yes, they get the goal off a set piece.
McCalvin got a forearm out.
But we talked about their problems in Pittsburgh with the compact field. Now they come back to Alan, continue to use the width outside, then back in. And that's how they create their chances, the Rowdies. LaCava getting a tap in from a ball played from the outside from Doherty, just behind the penalty spot. And that's where they're most dangerous.
How big was that goal before halftime? Because it brought Monterey Bay out of that shell where they couldn't just stay back, at least not as much. Now they have to open up if they want to get back in this. Do they want to risk it or just hope for an opportunity on a set piece? Because the game will give you chances. You know that. Frank Gallup certainly knows that.
Especially the Rowdies in Alan, who are always on the front foot. But yeah, the conversation of a coach at halftime at 1-0 is a completely different conversation.
Lasso dominating and winning that ball. Shot from distance, a little too high. First half, Monterey Bay with Crisp and Kelp were suffocating the Rowdies a bit. Tables have turned somewhat here. Well, don't miss a minute of action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and a whole lot more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
Yep, La Liga starting just now. I'll be shooting
all the European leagues starting.
That's right. Yeah. On my ESPN app.
USL just getting to that final stanza of this season. Everything's good. This is a good time for soccer fans.
Oh yeah.
Another ball served in. Williams just tried to nick it past. Good effort there.
Well,
the shot totals are starting to pile up now. That's 8 for Tampa Bay.
It was Jordan Doherty to the byline a couple of seconds ago. Now it's Connor Antley out wide, providing the service, and JJ Williams just making that run, that quick run to the near post. Just couldn't guide it on target.
Williams, the co-leader in goals on this team with Cal Jennings, each of them at 8. Nicky Law said we want to get them both in double digits. Plenty of time for that to happen. 11 games, including tonight, left.
Cal Jennings, another player who's sort of licking his wounds. One of the reasons he's not in the lineup tonight. Of course, JJ Williams playing well, but Cal Jennings still trying to nurse an injury.
Any way you slice it, you're in third in the East, and with a shout of the two teams ahead of you, and you've had probably, from what I remember, no season like this with these kind of injuries.
Yes.
Going back to the preseason with Leo Fernandez. That's a feather in the cap of this organization and these players that have done this all year long.
I mean, we could talk for
off of a really difficult start where the run of form wasn't there because they had 10 brand new players.
Yes.
Then the injuries happen.
And we don't, because the way this team has responded after the first quarter of the season. Oh, what a great ball that was.
How about the service to the back?
Oh.
And Alex Dixon like to have that one back. Tried to hit it one time in the air.
Well, the 1-2 from Boone to Donna, and then Donna one-times it, curls it away from the goalkeeper.
What a service.
On the doorstep of Alex Dixon. And he raised his head too soon, Jeff. My old under-14 coach is grimacing now as he sees the replay.
Under-14.
You keep your head down until the ball hits the back of the net.
If it was easy, we'd all be doing it. A donor from Collingwood, Ontario, 5th in the league in crosses. You see why. That was a peach. There's no defense for that if you're...
No.
If that's hit.
The cross itself took about 2 players out of it.
Williams gives it a go, and it's in the back of the net off the deflection. Williams up 9 goals of the year. Rowdies jump in front by 2, 3-1.
Well, Monterey Bay were worrying about withering away in this heat. After the equalizer just before the half, they've come out in the second half in the first 15 minutes, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies are now running rampant. Yannick wins the ball from a tired backup. JJ Williams gets on top of the box, and what does a number 9 do? You shoot. Big deflection, kind deflection, but this is what happens when you take shots. Young forwards at home, this is why you shoot. JJ Williams gets another, and the Rowdies 2 goals to the good in this half. Herrera can't believe it. JJ Williams, his 2nd goal in succession in Avalanche Stadium. And that takes a little bit of pressure off of Nicky Law, and added pressure on Mr. Yallop. There he is. His team did a heck of a job in the opening half.
Right.
And now they seem to be mentally tired. We talked about making jokes about 96 degrees in the shade. Well, it's not that funny if you're Monterey.
No.
It is that hot.
They have to go from the frying pan to the fryer next week at San Antonio FC, defending champs. And it's been just as hot in Texas as it's been in Florida, even more so. Then they're at El Paso after a quick home game against Colorado Springs. So hopefully this experience here will at least get them used to the heat. As we get into September, it'll cool down a little.
Yeah, give or take about 3 degrees.
At the hour mark, 3-1 to the good for Tampa Bay.
You could see when Fair got that goal, the belief, Jeff. We saw the oomph in their faces, and their swagger start to come back. And then the penalty just before the half was really that gut punch. And now they sort of doubted themselves, came back into the second half with that doubt lingering. And then the Rowdies, of course, at home, completely opposite effect. They're on a rise, they want more. And then they just completely take them to the woodshed in the opening 15.
Seen that a lot over this season. Once they've got a lead here, you have to come up, open up, and that's when they pounce.
Yep.
Teams that have done well against Tampa Bay this year have gotten the lead and tried to hold on.
Yeah. Now the Rowdies 2 goals on top. They're going to just try to hold the ball. Yes, Monterey doing a great job staying compact. Not many places to go in the middle of the park for the Rowdies, but there's no reason to advance. Now Forrest Lasso and Aaron Guillen are going to have like a training practice with each other.
Well, the men from Seaside unable to relax, but you can relax boldly in Tampa Bay. Claim your next adventure at visitampabay.com. Kleeman. Tampa Bay using that width now. Dennis gallops through. Williams on the ball. It falls in! Dennis scores. It's 4-1. Willed himself to a goal, 8th of the season for him. Unless it was called back.
Maybe it was a foul on Dennis. Dennis is asking what's going on.
No goal. Dennis looking towards Ted Uncle for the explanation. Let's see what he saw.
Well, he dinks it through to Williams, and look at the back heel, Jeff. Look at this back heel, right at the part of Dennis.
Maybe he might have gotten his hands in the back of Baca. Committed the foul in the act of getting to the ball.
And I'm stunned, just like the rest of the crowd.
Stays 3-1 though.
But the inventiveness by Dennis and Williams is something to behold.
Rowdies now 60% possession. Eight shots to 4. And a hydration break on the field. And the training staff going to tend to Charlie Dennis, who in that exchange with Baca got a little bit of a scrape underneath his right eye.
Well, what could have been 4-1 stays at 3-1. And the Rowdies are playing with a bit of swagger. Monterey would have been looking forward to this hydration break just to catch themselves, as the opening 18 minutes in this second half has been all green and yellow. Here's a second look. Here's Baca. Here's Dennis holding, grabbing his arm.
Yep. So that wasn't on that goal exchange, or the no goal exchange. So hydration and perhaps a band-aid break here for Charlie Dennis.
Maybe the hydration break came at a good time for Monterey, just to slow the momentum down and try to win the next 20 minutes. If you win the next 20 minutes, you're back in the game.
I said 8 shots a moment ago. It's actually 15. They have 8 on target. That number was nowhere near that in halftime, and now a yellow card's been issued. The second yellow of the match. Who's on?
Yeah, it looks like it may be on.
Ricky Law going to get the explanation.
Looks like Coach Law and referee trying to get some sort of understanding what the yellow card was for. We're still trying to get confirmation who received the yellow card. And I think Coach Law is trying to get some confirmation as well.
There's no VAR. Can't go back and look on our end. And Dennis still being tended to. Up off the mat.
Well, rumor has it.
Hey, that scar will tell the story.
Oh yeah. Rumor has it may be on Martinez, the left back, who's been going at it with Antley, hammer and nail.
That's official now. Walmy Martinez. Second yellow on a member of the Union. What caused it here? A bit of an elbow. Now it could have been
a scratch.
the scratch, but he was warned earlier in the match. So
right.
Persistent infringement, maybe.
Yeah.
So blood on the jersey. You have to switch the jersey up. And have
like,
to wear a different number.
Yeah, it's going to be a general jersey, no name on it. So yeah, the referee has to make note that's a new number for Dennis. And again, Rowdies right back to the same scenario they were in just before the goal was disallowed. No rush, being 2 goals on top. So back to the old side to side.
On this restart, these little hydration breaks have a way of
stemming the flow.
Of changing the complexion of the game, because it's like a timeout.
Yes.
Here's Dennis. Doesn't matter what his number is, we can see it in his hair.
Well, we talked about Armand and Antley being the keys to the game. Because Monterey have sat so compact, the 2 wide midfielders have been the keys to the match for the Rowdies. Providing width, providing that room, providing channels, which Doherty ran into to carve it back for J.J. Williams to make it 3-1. And
got a little far away from Williams there, off target. As Boone tries to get him started, just not connecting passes now. This is tired legs. And running through, how about that ball? LaCava slows it up inside the area, top of the box. Poor guy, just a little bit of a heavy touch.
Well, Jake Armand has had a great game. We've talked about him playing himself back into form after a long run of injuries. Just took a clumsy touch on top of the box, but he's so involved in this match.
The old number 86, Charlie Dennis. As the Rowdies look to 86 Monterey Bay here tonight, up 3-1. Oh, just out of the reach of the head of J.J. Williams, looking for a brace. Herrera went up and high-pointed the ball.
Well, this young man, Herrera, excellent goalkeeper, despite the scoreline. Couldn't do anything with the goals. Comes out, snatches it out of the air.
Tough to get those headers when you've got those high-arcing crosses or services. That favors the defense and the keeper. If they've got a little bit of loft in them, you want to hit them on a line.
Get some whip.
Armand. Just make them chase. He's going to see out the next 20 minutes. Hopefully, for Nicky Law, a 12th win of the season and 2nd in his tenure. Jake Armand. To the corner, and LaCava will circle back. Good defensive shape by Monterey Bay FC.
A little bit of
LaCava squirts through.
Time management by LaCava, continuously coming back into the middle where the midfield support is, not forcing things down the line and giving up possession, making this Monterey team run for the better part of a minute and a half now. And the Rowdies get the ball back again.
Fear. Full head of steam. This team with Donor on that right side, a good counter-attacking ability. Lasso takes care of that. Ekra gets tripped up by Fear. He'll probably go into the book here. And Ted Uncle goes to the book. 3rd yellow card. FC.
Well, the goal scorer now gets cautioned. A tale of 2 halves for Fear. Got the opening goal, and now just a tackler for.
Here's the first change of the match for Frank Yallop. Martinez comes off. Trying to get some fresh legs in for sure. 23. Sam Gleedle, attacking mid, will come on for Murphy, who has put in a shift.
Well, Murphy leads his team in tackles, the most engaged player on the field for them. And the fact that he's coming out means he has no more legs.
Fair comes out after that yellow. Alex Lara, 24-year-old out of Azusa, California, not too far from Seaside, make his 4th appearance. Gleedle, his 17th. He's got 4 goals, leads the team with 5 assists, and he's coming off the bench right now.
Yep, definitely a playmaker. You talk about technical ability. Gleedle is that guy from England. And he may be able to spark something in the last 20 minutes.
So what do you make of this? The 2 players came off, or the center defensive midfielders.
Right, so they came in here with a mentality, come into Alang Stadium, be stubborn, be compact, be defensive, break plays up and play counter-attack. Now you're playing an attacking player with Gleedle in the middle of the park, who's looking to create plays and be more aggressive and attack-minded.
A lot of stop, start, red light, green light tonight. Attacks being pulled back. The moments where Tampa Bay's been free-flowing. Pretty to watch. Still have work to do. Arman. Well, the Rowdies just aren't defending here. They're going for more. Again, on the bench for Nicky Law, you've got Brino, the backup keeper, and 4 forwards. That is it.
So if you're J.J. Williams, you're probably the only guy worried about coming out.
All right. A lofted ball. Williams will chase to no avail. It takes a deflection on its way out. Corner kick upcoming for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
What about this man? Another shift. He has.
It's just like a hockey player. It's like he's playing for the Lightning tonight.
Yes.
Took a puck to the face.
But he has to, as the ball goes out wide, he has to consistently run into the channels with those short bursts. That takes so much energy and effort, and then create. And what about this guy who created that goal for Jake LaCava single-handedly?
Doherty put the right foot. Spins it in. Williams just off target to the left. Got a clean header, though.
Well, the big number 9 got the look that he wanted, got in front of his marker, and just could not knot it down in the corner. He said good morning, but it just brushed the side of the post.
Trying to get to double digits, sitting now on his 9th goal, team leading 9th goal of the season after that one in the 58th minute. Possession being bossed right now. About 62% for the Rowdies as this game gets later and later, and the legs for Monterey Bay FC get tireder and tireder. No easy task. This is the difficulty not just in USL, but playing in leagues in the United States, the travel. And getting used to a number of different climates.
I try to educate people on this throughout the globe.
Yeah. England,
this country,
you're in England, you don't leave the same, the same island.
This country, it uses every bit of space from Monterey to Florida, right? If you're playing in Russia or Canada, 2/3 of the country is unlivable. In the United States, the entire bit of land is available to the public. So that means as a professional sports player, any sport, you have to play the entire country, which is tiring in itself.
2 more changes coming for Frank Yallop. See the entrance of Adrian Rowdies.
providing so much width and possession for the Rowdies out on this left-hand side. Had a great shot in the first half with a great save by Herrera to counteract that. But Jake Harman has been so involved. And as a coach, that's what you want. Your player involved, a player wanting to get on the ball, a player wants to be brave on the ball. And Harman has shown those qualities.
Well, this team has missed him earlier in the season. But you're not going to miss a match on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 in the Sirius XM app.
You know, Jeff,
manage the game here.
Jeff, I've heard you sing, and I think Sirius XM may be interested in a Jeff Radcliffe channel.
No.
I mean, there's a Frank Sinatra, there's, you know, I think a Jeff Radcliffe channel may be something
right.
I mean, we have contacts, we have people we can call.
No, that's just subscriber poison. That's deterrent.
You're so modest, Jeff. I think you should do it. Okay, that's just my advice.
I've got things to say for the Tampa Bay.
I think you should.
For the rest of USL
on Sirius XM.
Nah. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you.
You have a fantastic voice. I like it.
I'm blushing. A chance now on the build-up, headed on and just off target. Akoli, second good chance of the game.
Well,
it's been that kind of night.
The big man was not only brought in to hold up the ball for the midfielders, he's also there for the balls coming out wide. And there's another fine cross by Dona. And holy, just inches.
If you could just get him going.
You get one goal here at 3-2.
They're going to be set for the rest of the season.
You get one goal here at 3-2. It is a mad dash for the finish line in the last 11 minutes of election.
And that was his last chance as he comes off. I believe that's Christian Valesky will come on.
Now,
Valesky leads this team at 33 shots, 7 goals, the native of Henderson, Nevada.
And he has 4 assists. Again, one of those players who can really create some action in the last third. So you can understand why the substitution was made. Valesky, such great talent coming off the bench.
Long-time USL Championship player. Won a championship with Rochester back in 2015. He's now 30 years old. LaCava continuing to run here. Armin. Service overcooks it just a touch. But Valesky playing for...
Oh, Dennis kept it in. Wow.
A number of teams. Good hustle. That's what you want to see if you're Nicky Law.
Yeah.
You have just 10 minutes to play and you're still going all out.
Especially if someone like Charlie Dennis, who's played every minute of every game this season.
Just think about this team if it had Leo Fernandez.
And that was a question
if it had Lewis Hilton, Zachary Haribo for the entire season, and the options that Nicky Law previously.
I tell you what, though, there's two sides to that story, because Jordan Doherty has now completely become a starter in this league. He's no longer a player to come off the bench, no longer a player to come out like a squad player. Jordan Doherty supposed to be starting in the USL Championship. So if Lewis Hilton didn't go down, that's a question for Jordan Doherty would have remained. Also, Charlie Dennis was supposed to be a year away from being a starter. Leo Fernandez goes down. Charlie Dennis says, I'm here, I'm ready. And he's
made the most of it.
He's taken the mantle. Talk about 6 goals, handful of assists, set piece taker.
And so much credit goes to Neil Collins for getting them through the early bumps.
Correct.
And handing it off to Nicky Law, who just needs to put his own little touch on things.
Yes.
And get him over the line. Probably a more offensive-minded coach, Nicky Law, than maybe Neil.
I think you have to be. As a creative midfielder, there's just no way you can be conservative, right? Compared to back at Neil Collins.
Yeah, Collins was something like stubborn center back.
Yeah.
Nicky is a player Long time with the Rangers, 86 appearances, 20 goals from 2013 to 16. Then went to Exeter, 92 appearances. It's over 500 professional appearances, Nicky Law. Still 35. I mean, there are players on Monterey Bay that are older than he is.
He scored against Monterey Bay. I'll just remind everyone last year in Monterey Bay. There he is.
And it was a stunner.
Yep.
Crushed it.
I think he only scores stunners, by the way. Nicky Law. That's like his mantra.
That's how it works.
No tap-ins, just fantastic goals from outside the box.
Right. Came back to the States, or came over to the States to play for Indy 11 for a couple of seasons. In Tampa Bay for a short stint. LaCava, a little give and go off his line quickly was Herrera. Put out the fire with 7 minutes to play.
And I believe the man, the myth, Lucky Mkusana, has just come to the halfway line
right.
to check in. Most goals by a USL player off of the bench. You talk super sub, you talk this man. You talk legend, you talk this man. You talk influencer, you talk this man. The man from Zimbabwe.
Strong, skilled, and smart. Former Ivy Leaguer at Dartmouth, and just continues to find ways to get on the field and make an impact. And he's a good locker room guy.
I'll never forget one of the statements he said. They asked him about his goal scoring, and he said, you know, I don't complicate it. I put it on target. Make sure the goalkeeper makes a save. I'm not going to miss the goal.
No.
The keeper has to save it. And sometimes, more often than not, it goes to the corner pocket, right?
Lucky with 75 goals coming in. Still looking for his first this season. Same goes for Ariel Martinez. So J.J. Williams' night is done. He'll get a much-needed rest. So two of those forward subs coming off. Dennis as well.
Oh, this is why Ariel Martinez was brought on to the squad for these sort of moments. Usually if the Rowdies are down on a draw, you throw him on and he creates something. But he's supposed to come in the last 10 minutes, bring energy, bring belief into the team. But this Rowdies team was in such disarray at the beginning of the season that Ariel Martinez was asked to be a starter. And yes, he could have done that, and he did do it. But this is his natural position at this stage in his career, coming off the bench and being an impact player.
He's looking to see it out with a 2-goal advantage.
And why do forwards come on at this time? Because they're your first defender, Jeff. They're the ones who press. There's Lucky Mkusana coming all the way back to block the channels. That's why you bring fresh forwards on.
Your sense of urgency being shown by the Crispin Kelp now. Trying to get a turn. Donor, another nice service. Fabulous right foot. Oh. Try it again off the chest of Guillen, and that one too tight to the goal for Chase Boone.
Donor was upset, but the ball by Baca, a little dink over the top for Donor to run onto, was delightful. Chase Boone has had a heck of a game. He created the only goal for Monterey Bay on the left-hand side, and he's asked all the right questions for the most part of the game.
An easier second half for Connor Sparrow than it was in the first. It's another touch of the ball there. Volesky, who's kind of a fox in the box type player. It wide. Martinez. It's one way to stop him. Get a grab of the jersey. Lincoln will pull that back. And a yellow card. It's a 4th yellow.
On
Monterey.
Yep, he thought about it. Thought the pull of the hands. Nowhere near the ball. No play on the ball. Warranted the yellow card.
Revelaw, who just came on. That's his name on the score sheet. LaCava lurking again, lays it back. Martinez, his first of the season, and that will just about do it for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. All smiles at that end of the stadium. It is 4-1.
Well, there's still some time for some Cuban coffee. And Jake LaCava, after getting a goal of his own, creates one from the man from Cuba. Here's the 1-2 with Lucky and Kosana. LaCava looks up full of form, takes his time, no rush, and puts it into the path of Martinez. Look at the run by Martinez, darting in front of Nkosana. He wants it so bad, Jeff, and he gets there.
There's a crossing run, Nkosana coming one way. They just mixed him up. Defender, and does what he does. First for the season, first as a Rowdy.
There they are. Start him off young.
That's right. Well, the result now no longer in doubt. And one thing you're impressed with is Tampa Bay has continued to be proactive.
Always on the
they've
front.
been the attacking front foot the whole way.
Always on the front foot.
There is no protecting the lead.
No.
Granted, you're not playing a team that's got a lot of legs right now.
And we talked about the lack of productivity in the attacking third for Monterey. They have the fewest amount of shots in the USL coming to this game. They're one of those teams where you can take some chances going forward.
Yeah, last in shots with 207 coming in, but they were tied for third in conversion rate in the league, 18%. So something for that man, Frank Yallop, to think about. It's just one of those runs of form you have in this league sometimes, where everything just seems to go against you. All it takes is that one win, and then you'll right the ship. Easier said than done, though. There are no easy outs in this league.
No, there isn't.
Kava again, putting in a shift. 6 minutes to go.
Well, that's modern soccer now. Every minute that was taken up has to be added on.
And Kasana trying to turn, step into it was Hugh Roberts, the captain. Yeah, you also got to figure the multiple hydration breaks, the multiple goals. Antley. Martinez, can he get a second? No. Herrera's there.
Well, Martinez is in the mood. He is so shifty.
Wow, Lasso selling out. Change made here for the Rowdies. We'll get another forward in. So,
not that they had any choices, though, Jeff. Really. All they have is
he's in for LaCava, but this is forward for forward. Felix Schroeder, who was knocked a little bit with injuries earlier this season, trying to work himself back in. Making his 12th appearance of the season.
Now, Felix Schroeder picked up an injury and then had to go back for Germany for a family issue. And that got him out of the Rowdies rotation. And look at the congratulations for LaCava.
Yeah, he's had a game.
Absolutely. But this is a player, Schroeder, love him, experienced. He can engage and he can, when tackling and so on, he can finish, play without the ball, play with the ball on his feet. Very, very important player for this Rowdies organization coming down the stretch. Shouldn't say that as yet.
Right.
Coming into the last third of the season. We haven't reached the stretches yet.
Mentioned it already tonight. This was your only chance in August to see these Rowdies play. They go back on the road for two, one at Tulsa and back into the Sunshine State for a big game at Miami FC, who's just on the outside looking in that playoff spot. Anthony Pulis starting to get his men finding a little bit of form. But that's a rivalry match. Always going to be contentious, no matter where it's played. Monterey Bay, 3 of the next 4 on the road. At San Antonio, home to Colorado Springs. At El Paso, at Memphis 901. Next time the Rowdies will be at home, Hartford Athletic, September 2nd. Another northern team. Our team used to cooler weather. Deep throw coming up for the Rowdies late on. Midway through the 6 minutes of stoppage time. The goal just before the half tied it at 1. It's been 3 unanswered here in the second. Full head of steam. Donor's been impressive. Creating chances, snuffed out by Lasso. They just haven't been able to get anybody on the other end of it. Nicky Law singled Donor out. Here's Revelar. And there's a handball on Bolesky, which could not settle the ball.
Well, when it rains, it pours.
It's just not your night.
Yep, just can't control it. Couldn't find the ball on his feet. Bobs up, hits his hand. But you mentioned Donor. I mean, he runs downhill when the ball comes into the last third. So quick. Great technique to get the ball back into the mix-up. And this man, Nicky Law, what a response. Yes, a tough loss at Pittsburgh, the #1 team, losing 1-0 on the road. But taking care of the home, taking care of the fortress. In our land, 3-0 against Tulsa, and now 4-1 up against Monterey Bay.
A pair of 3-goal wins as it stands now here at home. Let's not forget, Tulsa came in pretty hot.
Yes,
right? that was a and they got to play them again here next week in their environs.
Yeah.
No guarantees. Take them when you can get them. A minute left. Rowdies will bump up to 41 points. Check some scores here. A minute to go. Running to the end line, not going to get there. Battery ahead of Detroit City FC 1-0. Late Louisville 1-1 against Charleston. Oh, that was earlier this week.
Tell you what, that Louisville.
And there's the final whistle. On you, Rowdies. This one goes to Tampa Bay. 4-1 the final over Monterey Bay FC. Second win for that man, Nicky Law, the new man in charge for the Rowdies. An impressive performance in the second half sees them to their 12th win of the season. We'll wrap it up. Post-game show coming your way right after this on ESPN+.
There are 16 spots in the playoffs and just one track left. Well, not just any track.
We're basically going to have to win.
Daytona. A last chance to keep playoff hopes alive.
We're 1 point to the good.
And for fans to experience an event unlike any other. It's time to go big. Yeah! And watch the drama unfold before your very eyes. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
comprehensive victory tonight for Nicky Law's Tampa Bay Rowdies. They beat the visiting Monterey Bay FC 4-1 the final. As we put a green and yellow bow tie on this one, let's take a look at the highlights. It was a contentious first half, Ryan.
What an excellent, compact Monterey Bay team. Bone to the left-hand side, gets the cross in, and Fair gets to the half volley. Bit of deflection on Lasso, but they worked for that goal, Monterey Bay, and it was well-deserved 1-0 lead. Then, bodies go flying. Referee Ted Uncle points to the spot. Harris, no mistake, 1-1 just before the half, and that changed the complexion of the match, Jeff.
They go into halftime, then Dennis feeding Doherty. How about this little ball?
Hooks it back down to the penalty spot, and Jake LaCava gets that all-important goal. Why is it important? Confidence. And it puts the Rowdies up 2-1 and gets him going.
All smiles for the 22-year-old. And marauding through. It's Williams making no mistake.
Yeah, Jan Ekra does everything. He picks the pocket. Now Monterey are completely out of sorts after the ball is given away, and JJ Williams, full of confidence, has a shot, again a deflection. Here's the 1-2, Lucky Mkosana. Here's the confident LaCava now, puts it right back in the path, and Ariel Martinez, the super sub, comes in and gets a goal for his own.
And then the whipped cream on the Cuban coffee. Ariel Martinez nabs his first. He and Lucky having a little fun. It's always a fun when you collect 3 points. Here's a look at the stats. 18 shots tonight. They only had one on target last week.
Correct. Chances created. That means the Rowdies did their homework against this team, and in the second half, holding all that possession in the first half paid off in the second half. A tired Monterey team, a defeated Monterey team came on to the second half, and Rowdies went rampant with 18 shots to 7.
For now, they pull 3 points closer to first place Pittsburgh, solidifying their hold in third place in the Eastern Conference. Let's take a look at what's coming up. 2 road games at FC Tulsa. Will be a tough out, then
rivalry
down
match
to Miami FC, back home in September. Hartford and Louisville with a game at Memphis 901, another tough ask, sandwiched in between.
Jeff,
as we get down to that final,
like you mentioned,
stretch
Jeff,
run.
5 of the last 7 matches we played at home come September in Al Lang Stadium.
Good
huge run for the Rowdies. Yep. Rivalry match against Miami, huge one on the road as well.
Final score: Tampa Bay 4, Monterey Bay FC 1. Thank you for watching where you happen to be tonight. For our entire video art production crew, our director Tom Sipos, my partner Ryan Davis, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long from Al Lang Stadium. It's a full 3 points tonight for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, a 4-1 win against Monterey Bay. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Thank you, boys.